you're coming to the time in your life as a woman and you are going to have a baby, there are very important principles and protocols to follow in order to prepare your body to have that child. So it's a lead up. If suddenly you got pregnant and you weren't expecting it, well, then you have a little bit of a different situation where you have to compensate for that very quickly. But the best thing is to prepare your body by removing all of the toxicity out of your system. There are different protocols for doing that. There are some physical things that you can do from the external part of your body and there are internal fuels that you need to have in your body, specifically things like magnesium chloride hexahydrate stored up in your tissues using transdermal magnesium, which is called EASE. And that puts your body into a good, solid bank account where you can draw on this magnesium. You also want to have a lot of nutrients that feed the brain. The brain of the baby is laid in the first 6 weeks of pregnancy. So your intelligence of the baby is going to be geared not only just upon genetics, which is a big part, but also upon the fuel that's in your body that you're going to build that body inside of yours with the nutrients that you have within you. So you want to make sure that you have the right amount of that stored up as well for yourself, because a lot of times they call it brain drain when a woman's having a child, because she's using so many of the elements that she only has enough for herself in to be able to build that body inside of your body. And that means that you've got to keep yourself extra fueled up during the time. So there's a product called Oceans Alive. It is a natural nootropic that you would amp up the amount of that leading into a pregnancy and throughout the pregnancy, because those are nanonutrients that have every nutritional molecule known to all historical data in it. And you just need a small amount every single day. And that ensures that you're getting the deepest level of nutrition for building the body. Now, the other thing that happens when women first get pregnant is morning sickness. If you're having morning sickness, that means you're low in magnesium, and you should not be having morning sickness at all. But that's a reaction of your body telling you, hey, I need something and I don't have it in the bank. So you have a body that has a bank account and you need to keep that bank account filled up with the elements. The magnesium chloride hexahydrate coming into the skin is essential to make sure that you don't have that morning sickness going on, that you're fueled up. And then throughout the pregnancy, you want to make sure that your autonomic nervous system is kept as much in parasympathetic as possible. That's why they give time off to women during the pregnancy for maternal leave. I think the entire time of the pregnancy should be off 100%, as well as all the way through the nursing period. Women should not have to work at all. They're doing so much work, not only building this body inside their body, but also nursing and nurturing that baby and bonding. It is essential that the mother have that direct contact with the baby in order for that baby to have a very high quality of life going forward. The other very important thing is to make sure that your microbiome is super healthy. And I'm not just talking about gut microbiome. Your microbiome is in every single mucous membrane in your body, which is internal as well as visible external, like your eyes and various other different organs in your body that you have mucus in. So internal mucous membranes need to be kept very pure. And the way you do that is with a product called Perfect Immune that keeps the mucous membranes fluid. And that way you're not getting congested and you're also keeping your microbiome really healthy. Things like iodine are essential because that allows your body to keep everything clean and nourished. When the baby comes from the womb out of the body, the baby consumes a large amount of probiotics from the mother when she's healthy. And they literally consume it. They'll have a mouthful of it when they come out. If there's a cesarean section, that deprives the baby of that opportunity. Also, when the baby is born, the squishing of the head coming out of the womb naturally activates a whole ton of neural pathways and neurological brain chemistry inside the baby's head. So if it's cesarean, that child has missed that. People who know about that and say the mother has to have a cesarean for some emergency reason, then they would scoop out the probiotics from the mother's vagina and put that in the baby, and also have the head squeezed, naturally just squeezed, to activate those and compensate for that problem. And there's a massive amount of study has been done on that. One of the countries that has the greatest knowledge of this is Russia. And so there were different Russian doctors who came to North America over the years, and they brought that information so that if a baby is cesarean birth, which is only in a life and death situation that it should be done because it's so traumatic for the baby and extremely traumatic for the mother, that's what you have to do. You got to make sure those probiotics get in there and the brain chemistry gets activated through the pressure on the skull, because the baby's skull is very malleable at that point, and there's a protocol around that. Having a healthy baby is your goal if you're a mom, and prepping your body and then all the way through the pregnancy and then post-delivery is very important to keep all the hormones intact, have your autonomic nervous system and parasympathetic as much as humanly possible. That involves different breathing techniques and being kept in a very protected environment. It's up to the man to make sure the woman is taken care of and nurtured and protected during that very special time. Many women in their life experience menstrual trauma, and they will have cramps, they will have heavy bleeding, lots of clots, all kinds of various different things they suffer significantly from. And that is because they are not regulating the amount of magnesium that is stored up in the tissue of the body. Now, people can take magnesium pills, magnesium powders, and potions. They're okay, but they don't do the trick. The one thing that I have seen over the last 20 years is women who use transdermal magnesium, but it can't just be any transdermal magnesium. It has to be a very specific form. And the one that we had discovered, and this was 17 years ago that this discovery was made, it's called magnesium chloride hexahydrate, but it has to be prepared in a solution in a very specific way that takes 12 hours to make it. And when you spray that on your body once or twice a day, preferably twice a day, it goes onto your skin. It's extremely comfortable. You don't have to rub it in. You just spray it on large skin areas of your body, and it goes in through your microcirculation and it stores in the tissue of your body. It usually takes 2 to 3 months for the cycle to smooth out completely. When you have a bank account full of magnesium chloride hexahydrate, then the body uses it as needed. Now, for women, because your cycle is an endocrine cycle, your hormones are shifting a little bit every single day, whereas men do not do that at all. Men have a much easier time. Men also benefit from the transdermal magnesium, of course, because that allows the muscles to relax. But women experience a huge upgrade because that magnesium, for multiple reasons. There's 330 different biochemical reactions happening in your body. Every one of those reactions require magnesium as the master mineral. And this specific form of magnesium is an extract from seawater, and it's extremely pure. It's the purest form. It took us 1.5 years to find the one company in the world who produced that pure form. And then we found out how to make the solution. And every woman who consistently uses that on a daily basis completely smooths out their cycle so they don't have any more irregularities. We've seen women who, for 4 days of the month, they would have to be down with a hot water bottle, suffering. They couldn't even work, go right completely back to work and have no issues at all within 2 months. So it's just a matter of fueling your body. It's a fuel that your body requires. And when you run low on that fuel, then it wreaks havoc on multiple other things. The other element that helps with the entire reproductive system is perfect iodine. It's another one of these discoveries that has the perfect form of iodine in a solution that you consume every day. And that also, not only that, it energizes every cell in your body, but it reacts with things that are interrupting the reproductive organs and interrupts the endocrine system. So the endocrine system wants to be fueled, and it has to be in its perfect balanced state. That way, all the hormones are regulated. And then that converts into iodide. When you take the iodine in your body, this perfect iodine converts to iodide, and then the thyroid picks that up through the bloodstream. And then that fuels the thyroid to produce T3, T4 iodine hormones. That goes into your system again to very powerfully support a healthy reproductive system. Women who have fibroids, cysts, endometriosis, various different painful and very irritating issues in their body, that's because of a low iodine level. They need to make sure that they're fueling. So you need to make sure you're fueling your body correctly. You want to have a nice, enjoyable life. You do not want to have these interruptions with irregular cycles, and your period should be smooth as can be. And when you're there, you're going to be very happy.